Uh, it's hard to find new creative ways to lose to the Yankees when you are, let's see here, you're 39 and 111 against them in 20 years, but hitting 5 bombs off Garrett Cole, including back to back to back to start the game and then losing, is definitely one of the more creative ways to do it. So congratulations to the Twins.
I think when you have that bullpen, you don't have to be that creative, actually. You just, did you ever think they were going to, boy, this one's in the books?
Well, I thought it was a nice start, and I thought you're definitely going to need more than the 3 home runs to start the game.
Yes,
and they did. They did score 7.
When Gallo hit one to the moon in his second home run to the moon to make it 7-4, and the fourth, I said the Yankees are going to win this game. Yeah. And of course, I never expected Joan Duran to come in and stink, but that was kind of a surprise in the whole thing. But there was just too much time left. And I'll tell you one thing about those. I love Garrett Cole. We all love Garrett Cole. But to say that Buck has it all figured out because he hit 2 hanging splitters in the middle of to Charlie Leibrandt to change up the puck. Both of those pitches were just hanging splitters right in the middle of the plate that you couldn't miss. So, yes, that was nice. That's what you did, what you should do with those pitches. But that was not anywhere near the Garrett Cole we're going to see the next time you face him. That's for sure. So.
Did you happen to see Rocco's post-game quotes, Patrick?
I only read that. I didn't watch the thing. I just read a couple of the paper about.
I can play it right here if we.
Yeah, play one. Play one. I'd be curious to get your response.
Playing a really good team, maybe one of the best teams in baseball. We think we're right there too. We went right at them. Went after one of the best starters in baseball today and hit him around pretty good. Couldn't have been happier with the at bats that we had, and we kept coming back. We did a lot of good today. So I'm not gonna sit here and talk about the stuff that we know. We dropped a pop up. We did didn't complete some plays. We got to play crisper baseball if we're gonna get outs in the middle of the game and late in the game and make it happen. But I think we fought pretty good.
The drop pop up I don't think cost him a run, right?
No, it did.
They were all earned, I thought.
Hicks came up next and hit
he hit a game tying 2-run home run. Yeah.
The drop pop up, Pat, was a single.
Oh, they call it a single? Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it was not caught by both guys that could have caught it. So,
okay. Well, when I used to score, I'd give it one of them an air.
It should be. It is a weird loophole, right?
My theory is you don't have to touch. A lot of scorers think you have to touch the ball. My theory was if you should catch it and you're so rotten you don't even put a glove on it, you should really get an air. So that was that should be an air.
Polanco, he bailed and went to second. I'm not quite sure why, but anyway, my point off the quotes from the manager is this: you were up 7-3 after 3, and it was it was a game you got off to a real good start in, and his ability to just massage things to me, we dropped a pop up. Well, Rocco, the devil is in the details. That was a big deal. And he just seems to be fine. And I sort of get why fans get frustrated with that. I don't expect him to scream and yell. I do expect him to show a little bit of disappointment about basically, pardon my French, pissing that game away completely.
Well, I don't think they did.
You don't?
The bullpen couldn't get him out. So, you hit the 2-run homer, so then you only lose 8-7. Okay, that's it. The Yankees are going to keep. Once Duran doesn't get him out, that game's over. So that's I credit that game to terrible bullpen pitching. That's what I do, and I'm not surprised by it. I'm not surprised that they couldn't. That. When Bundy only gets them into the 4th, I'm not surprised that they end up losing that game. With that bullpen, it's. I mean, who do you think now that Joe Smith has returned to planet Earth and gives up about 2 every time he's out there? who's beyond Durant. Who do you think's going to get anybody out? And he didn't get him out last night. He got the hell knocked out of him. So
I think I see what Judd's getting at here, and so let me pose this question, which is instead of this rush, I get why we do it with the Yankees because there's nothing else to grasp onto other than moral victories. So
I don't think Rocco was moral victory in it.
Oh,
he liked the way they went to do it. It bad. That's him.
Well, yeah, he's a moral victory kind of a guy. I mean, that was quintessential moral victory, wasn't it? Listen, we blew a lead and we squandered maybe the best offensive performance against a great pitcher, but look at all these good takeaways. I mean, that's
I think his only good takeaway was they hit the ball, right? And that was he did. They didn't score the last 6 innings, but once you get 7, you shouldn't have to add on, right?
Yeah. But here's my question. So instead of the sharpening of the moral victory pencil, let's put that aside and ask, because I think a lot of fans are saying, well, once we get the starting pitchers back, right? Once Joe Ryan comes back and Sonny Gray comes back, and then Jorge Alcala in the bullpen is going to come back at some point, then let's see what happens against the Yankees. And that's my question to you. Once the Twins have a full cupboard again, and the pitching is back to where it was healthy, how much confidence do you then have about this team to do something meaningful?
Against the Yankees? None, zero. They will never treat those pitchers like that hitting wise. Again, those 3 guys pitch. They face those same 3 guys in New York. Next time they're going to get 2 runs in 3 games. They got them. Now, Nestor the molester didn't look that stuff did not look that good to me. I don't know. Maybe he just wasn't sharp, but that stuff, I hadn't really watched him pitch much. He might come down to planet Earth. Cole and Tyon, you're going to face them again. They're going to get you out. This is as well as you're going to hit against that team. Yes. That's for sure. And, yes. I go back to last Friday morning, and considering I thought they'd be lucky to go 1-5, 3-3. That's pretty good against these guys. I would be very concerned about what happens this weekend. You're playing a really good team that has all kinds of pitching injuries, but they keep winning, and you're going to break out the Smelts, who's okay. That's going to disappear. So this is not going to be the Smeltzer for the rest of the season. Okay. And Cole Sands, and you don't know who, right? So, right. This tough stretch ain't over yet. It could be 3-6 in a hurry.
Couldn't Joe? I'm going to keep asking Joe Ryan questions. Couldn't Joe Ryan have, if he was going to pitch for the Saints? And pardon my ignorant question because I have not looked at the Saints' schedule. Could he not have thrown those 40 pitches 2 days earlier to be ready to pitch against the Rays at Target Field? Was there no other way to handle Joe Ryan?
He could have just not pitched yesterday and pitched tonight.
Right. Well, that's
right. That was my saying. And they only had him throw 40. It's COVID. It's not any kind of an injury. He had COVID. Let him throw 70. Today I was going crazy about that. But
that's the other thing that people say. Well, wait a second. You guys wanted Joe Ryan to start. Well, he could only throw 40 pitches last night. No, the Twins kept him at 40 pitches last night.
They only allowed it. There's no denying. It doesn't drive anybody crazier than it drives me the way they treat players. But I guess I'm not upset about what Rocco said because I knew what he would say. That's just the way
But should he be allowed that? The accumulation of arrogance is what bothers me.
I mean,
because they're peeing on you and telling it's raining, and and a lot of people buy that crap, and that's what bothers me. The pitching thing. Why is Dylan Bundy still pitching? Why did the shoe get so much rope?
Because their starter Saturday is nobody. That's why.
Right, but what Phil said's right. Joe Ryan, 3 innings, no hits, 4 strikeouts last night. I would have rather taken my chances with Joe Ryan last night against the Yankees than Dylan Bundy. Because you're right, he had COVID. He's not dying, last I heard.
I'm not arguing with that, but they treat their. By the way, now that Zim's gone, when these guys go out and puke, right? The Vikings.
Mhm.
What do you think you're going to get? What do you think you're going to
Same
get
thing.
from this guy?
Yeah, he's probably not gonna.
Same thing.
He's probably not gonna dump on his backup quarterback for
Yes.
5 minutes at a press
Yeah.
conference.
Yes, they. This is the new schmooze everything up, right? Yeah, we gave Ben Johnson moral victories over Hampton, Sydney, or some damn
Yeah.
thing. I mean, it's the way of the world now, and Rocco is, that's just the way he is, because that's the way they want him to be.
Right, but Pat, that's on us in our
Well,
business,
we can
our
write
job
it till
too.
we think it's crap, but it
Yeah.
doesn't make any difference.
No, but I think I think because of the amount of people that buy into the new, hey, he called me by my
Yes.
first name, so I like him. I'm not going to point out that he just literally told me that we shouldn't talk about a pop-up that dropped. It's a major league game. If your grandson had been involved in a little league game in which that ball fell, you would come in on Monday and bitch about it, and I wouldn't blame you.
Well, but he mentioned it. What do you want him to say? I wish it was.
I want him to say that can't happen. I want him to say we don't. He essentially said there's so much good, it's not worth talking about.
But here's the difference. He doesn't wear the 20 years of Yankees abuse like you do and like some fans do. Now, you could go on the flip side of that and say, because this regime and Rocco can say, well, we haven't been a part of this whole thing. Well, I mean, if you look at the playoff losses, the 18 straight losses, and this regime is now accountable for 33% of those. But I don't think they don't wear the 20 years of disappointment. You're bringing 20 years of disappointment into your emotions today, and I'm fine with that. Rocco isn't.
The whole Yankee thing to me, this whole fan idea that somehow there's been a Yankee jinx is nonsense. They are better than you every bleeping time you play them, almost. Maybe when Johan pitched, you should have beat them. But they are better than you. It's the way of the world. Look at who was favored last night. I think it was 190. It was like, the Yankees were 2-1 favorites to win the game. The favorites win games. So the whole Yankee thing is, I've talked about that forever, is crapola. They're better than you. You're right, Phil. Numerically, it makes no sense. Mathematically, it makes no sense. But watching them on the field, when you see who runs out there, you see who gets in the batter's box, and particularly when you see what jackass goes out to pitch, you're going to, you can't say, oh, man, There was no time when it was 7-3. I said, they got a chance to win this game, maybe. And then Bundy comes out, and Joey Gallo killed somebody over there in front of Target Center, and was just happened to be walking by. And I said, okay, this one's, boy, if you ever needed a 1-2-3 inning, get him out, Dylan. I mean, the guy. What did I say in April? Look at this stuff. He's got no breaking ball. You think his only breaking ball is a hanging curve. That's his only breaking ball. You think that's going to work more than 10 minutes, for God's sakes? It doesn't. It's not. Archer, now, I got to say, he was pretty good the other night. That was maybe there is something there, but I don't know. I just I did not finish watching that game and saying, boy, that's disgusting. That's the way of the world. I saw it because the bullpen. I mean, God Almighty, who's I don't know who they think's gonna get that team out if Durant can't.
What a weird feeling, because they're sitting here, they're still in first place. They just with a ravaged roster and pitching staff, they just split 3-3 with Toronto and the Yankees, but it's just there's just something about it, and there's something about the way that they've lost playoff games that
here's my theory. I look at that series and say, my God, look what they did to those three starters. I wrote a column about the stats of that starting rotation. The starting rotation, 21 straight games, they had gone 5 or more. The ERA of the starting rotation was like low 2s, and none of them get through the 5th. And Cole got what, 7 runs, 7 outs, right? 7 runs, 7 outs.
2 1/3. Yep.
Yeah, 7 runs, 7 outs. I mean, I was shocked how they handled that pitching staff. So but then they laid down and let the bullpen coast through. But I'm not disgusted with the last 6 days. There's the last 6 games, I'll tell you that, because I was expecting disaster, as you said. My prediction was by Sunday they'd be under 500. I thought they're going to go 0-9. Now they could still go 3-6. If every one of these next games with the pitchers you're breaking out, Smeltzer, yeah, it might be a pick'em game. The Saturday and Sunday, you're supposed to lose all these games with what you're pitching. You're not. It doesn't work. This does not work. And and you make a good point. Having Joe Ryan pitch in St. Paul does not work. Does not work with this team. So.
And I mean, by the way, like, they're only having their starting pitchers go 4 innings anyways. So like, can't Joe give you 3?
Yes.
Give you 3 or 4, get you off to a nice little start. Not give up 5 bombs in the first 2 innings.
Yeah, I don't know. It was. What do you think of the? What they get up? They did crowd wise, everything 26-28, right? Not too great.
What was the Wednesday night crowd?
Beautiful nights, 27, I think.
It was 27 the first night. It was 26,646 last night.
Yeah, and I think it was maybe it hit 28 Wednesday, but not
a lot of Yanks fans too, which they'll take. They don't care about.
Yeah, a lot of the public doesn't believe, and I guess yesterday probably helped confirm that for them.
I don't think the public likes this team. I just don't think that they believe it. I don't think they like them. I think that they're skeptical, rightfully so. I think that there's just a lot of things that this team is not deemed to be embraceable by the fan base, or by a lot of it.
I think a lot of that is the idea that we concentrate too much on getting them off their feet. I think that it's not the baseball. It's not the baseball that we know, where, as I've said 100 times, if you can play, you do play. So
if you polled the average casual fan that listens to K-Fan and goes to games once in a while, just like, not the fan who sits on Twins forums and knows all the prospect rankings, but the average fan, what would like the 3 top word or phrase associations be for this team? I think cheap would be on it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
Their payroll's 138. That isn't bad.
It's around average, yeah.
How could it be cheap when you spent 36 on Korea?
Yeah, I agree. I'm just saying I think the average in terms of like, why aren't people maybe all in on this team? Like, they're too cheap to go get a number 1 starter, right? Well, that's still a pervasive thought.
It's very expensive to go get a number 1 starter, and it's very expensive to go get a number 1 starter who wants to freeze to death in April and halfway of May and into September too. Right. If you had a roof on that place, you might sign more pitchers.
Stop with that.
Stop right. Okay, Rami.
Stop right now. Don't be doing that to me.
Anyhow, meanwhile, last night, all it took was Ohtani to pitch 7 innings and hit a home run to put him ahead in the Flying Angel. How would you like to be an Angel? Well, they aren't any Angel fans. They just go to the games when they happen to be driving by. But how do you lose 14 in a row with him?
Oh, man.
With him.
I know. Yeah.
And Mike Trout played most of those games, too.
I was watching last night. He hits one to straightaway center. He pitches 7 innings. He's the fastest guy in baseball. And you lose 14 in a row. Joe Madden, you should never get interviewed for another job as long as you live. It's over, baby. Joe, go do TV or some damn thing, because you stink. You can't lose 14 in a row with that team.
Wow. How about Tony? 1-2 count on Trey Turner yesterday. Look, LaRussa. intentionally walks him. Max Muncy comes up, homers, and then MF's Tony on his way back to the dugout.
Tony.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't see that he screamed at Tony.
So there's a viral fan, Pat, that's literally yelling, Tony! Tony's got 2 strikes, Tony!
Yeah.
And then the next pitch just
Tony
boom.
was, as he always is after the. Is this
smug.
Is this a controversy? Are
Yes.
people wondering about this?
Yes.
Never, Rocco might have never admitted to a mistake for his team. Tony's never admitted to a mistake for Tony.
So what was his defense?
I wrote a column about how arrogant Tony was in 1982.
And he was young and arrogant, so he had a fighting
called me, and I
chance.
sat in the stands with him way early before the game to talk to him up in the stands because he wanted to talk to me about the perception that he was arrogant.
Oh, my God.
Which, by the way, is
That's how
extremely
arrogant he
arrogant.
was.
Yeah.
That's how arrogant he was. He cared what some fat guy from St. Paul wrote. We didn't. Tony, nobody sees the paper over here on this side of the river. What do you care?
He's got some Coach K to him, I believe. He's got a little bit of Coach K.
Neither one of them. Neither one of them goes gray.
Into the post World Series, post playoffs with a T-shirt for his daughter's dancing club or some damn thing like that too. He wanted to show us what a worldly guy he was, or what a well-rounded fella he was. I don't know if Reinsdorf will fire him though, to you, but the White Sox fans all are all on him now, and I'm sure the radio media down there is probably hammering him too.
Yeah, I don't think the radio guys didn't want him the first time a year and a half ago. So now this is their chance.
Yeah, and he had a decent year, but they just won 1 out of 3 against the Dodgers. So that was about it. They aren't complaining. Maybe they are complaining, but you play the Dodgers and you win 1 out of 3, you ought to be happier than hell. And guess what? You play the Yankees, you win 1 out of 3, you should be happy, except, when you start with only the second time in baseball history, in MLB history, that
Padres, I think, also did this.
Started with 3 straight home runs. But as I said
lost.
on Twitter, sure, they hit 3 home runs, but they were all solos.
Yeah, it's true. Got to get some guys on base there to start the game.
Hard to start the game with 3 and not have them be solos, but I was hoping people picked up on the joke.
No, I think nuance.
It's Twitter. They
Nuance
took it very seriously, and we're very upset with you.
Nuance is lost.
Typical Reusse.
Well, we'll see what happens against the Rays and whoever the hell the Twins run out there, and we'll reconvene next week.
All right, gentlemen.
Talk to you Monday.
All right, see you, Pat. All right, that baseball banter presented by our friends at Federated Mutual Insurance Company. Been around for over 100 years, protecting businesses through risk management tools and resources. Some great people who can help elevate your business to new levels. Find them online at federatedinsurance.com, where it's our business to protect yours. All right, see you guys.